Welcome all. Fingers crossed this works as normal with all the unmuted audio, etc. So hope everyone is good. Welcome to an impromptu live stream to all, not members only, it's everybody. There's a reason for that we'll go into in a second, but I just want to make sure we give time for people to log on, and get into the chat window. That's the window over there. Pop on it, make sure you can hear me, because just a few minutes ago I was active, but we had a few, shall we say, technical glitches with the fact that no one could hear me, which I think is a somewhat technical glitch. All better now. Yep, see, weird one. Again, that's YouTube. Again, I've just reset it with the exact same settings I did before, but for some reason, there you go. Wonderful world of being live, that's the thing. So right guys, hope you've been well since last week where we last spoke. We are very, very close to Christmas, within a few days. So I hope, well, I say that you've got one more shopping day to go, and if you haven't got everything already, good luck on that one. I'm not sure. I'm terrible when it comes to Christmas, so I'll worry about that probably tomorrow evening, know me, and then panic. No, I don't panic, but yeah, I'm not a great Christmas person personally. Some people love it, some people don't. Andy, yeah, unfortunately there's no sound. Is that to the first one or to this one? Please say there's sound now. I will double check. No, I can't see. There. No, I'm getting definitely sound in. Looping again. I don't know how, that has got to be a YouTube thing. That can't be me, because Clyde says, I'm a senior golfer and watch many of your reviews. Very interested in your slow swing speed videos. As an 8 handicap, I've lost distance looking for new irons. Well, there are some new irons coming out soon, relatively soon, that you may want to be looking at. Obviously 2025 is an interesting time. There is a lot of new stuff that's coming out. There'll be, I've still got to do the DS Adapt to the Max ones from Cobra. I've still got there more for, it's not like a high launch version, it's not that, but it is very much so. The Max is there to try and increase your speed. It's a lightweight idea. Yeah, that's sometimes good, sometimes bad, but yeah, we can get into that one in a different video if needed. We've got all the Strixon ZXi stuff. We've got the Ping G440, which will be an interesting one to see how well that works. You've got obviously the classic TaylorMade and Callaway ones. We've got Mizuno have got their JPX 925 forged, and also the breaking up. I don't know what else to do, because I'm literally at a point of where I'm getting different people saying different things when it comes to the output, whether it's good or bad. I'm not entirely certain, but again, Anthony Lopez says, I can finally watch you live. Yes, you can. It's a few spinners here to start with, but fine now. Sound seems fine in browser, but was spotty in iOS app. That's the problem with Apple. There you go. If that is not every single thing you need motivation-wise, only choose the Apple. So, yeah. What else we got? The Mizuno are doing their JPX 925 forged, which is an interesting golf club. Done some testing on that one already. Guys, you're going to be wanting to know how well that one performs. So it's kind of crazy because there's pictures all online. But there you go. An embargo is an embargo. Right, let's flick over to this screen so I don't... well, YouTube can't handle it. No, that's very true. I'm not quite sure. Again, this is live, and so it is very much so based on what YouTube servers are doing, etc. Yeah, 2 spinners. Oh, that's the little thing that goes round and round and round. Like I'm working. But it's a Christmas holiday. Parents giving all the iPads to the kids to keep them quiet watching YouTube kids stuff. YouTube can't handle it. And 2 spinners Just when you read from me, it was fine. Cool. Client building says, seems like your buffering is a problem. The video and sound is breaking up. Well, there's not much I can do. I've dropped my bit rate to, I can't remember now, but I've dropped it by about 20% to try and take the quality down. But yeah, it's well within capacity for YouTube to stream. Absolutely. Right, we've got name and draw, and 2 questions. 1, grip size with wedges. When can you play regular or large? Okay, 2, and can you play stiff but swing speed is getting... Well, technically no, I've got 4K, but then the card that it runs through, the capture card, downstreams it to, or yeah, whatever it is, downgrades it to, oh, we're going 1440, are we? Ooh, dangerous. Oof. No, 1080p, you don't need to see me in too much detail. So, I would just find out what you are as a pattern from a certain number of goes. So don't just take one session and go, I am this. Have a few sessions to see if the pattern continues. If the pattern doesn't continue, then obviously then you are, and it moves around dependent, then you are a, well, you can have anything you prefer the feel of. I dropped it to 720 and audio is clean. Yeah, it could be, okay. Again, it could be, I don't know what YouTube servers are doing, what's going on at the moment, but again, I can only upload at the, I've dropped my thing by 20%, so I'm well within the boundaries of being able to, yeah, get a half decent stream across, but there you go. So, yeah, it's one of those things, I wouldn't worry about that. So have we name drawn, have we got an answer for the part 2 yet, as in, can play stiff, but when swing speed is getting slow with age, when would you switch to regular? Is that for irons as well? Or are we still talking about wedges? But there we go, we'll find out. So the reason why I've moved over to open all access rather than, yeah, irons, okay, we'll do that one. I'll do my explanation first before I lose my train of thought. But the reason why we've gone over to an open all access rather than a members is purely because as I'm now moving gradually over from, could be the reason why YouTube don't like me, I'm moving over from YouTube memberships over to the website memberships, and there is a possibility, and this is what the whole idea of going forward would be, we'll get into that one, absolutely, remind me, that we're moving over to the website, www.askgolfnut.com. So there you've got all the heat map data that I do for all the reviews. I've got all the advanced data where you can see a launch factor, as in one golf club launches more or less than other ones, like for like loft adjusted, because all golf clubs do different things. And so some launch the golf ball more than others. So if you want a higher flight, a lower flight, spins the golf ball more, spins the golf ball less. The face speed is a massive thing, obviously, for, say, slow swing speed golfers who don't swing very quick and they want as much distance they possibly can do. You're looking for a golf club with as much speed off the face as possible. Again, you're looking at other golf clubs where, let's say, golfers that swing at 90 something odd miles an hour don't need to worry about face speed. They may look at something much slower because they don't need the poppy faces out of the middle. But that's all on www.askgolfnut.com. So Andy, thank you very kindly, popped that on there for us. And you can go on there and have a little look, and that website is based exactly the same as my YouTube memberships. So YouTube memberships, you get tiers, and with those tiers you get access to certain information depending on what you want, and of course heat maps, which is the bread and butter, I suppose, of the modern day review. That's on the bronze tier, which is the cheapest tier. But I'm moving everything from YouTube memberships over to the website, and there is talk about getting the live streams on the website. So I will still use YouTube to pop out posts so people know. Effectively it'll be every Monday anyway, but I'm looking to live stream there and also tag it along with Discord. Again, Discord's up, no, it's up there somewhere, there you go. There's Discord, and if you want to go on there then you can do, and we have, I want to say, we're approaching 300 members on Discord now. I'm guessing something like that. It's brilliant. Discord is great for the interaction, so much better than YouTube, because again you can swap files, you can swap pictures and interact verbally, or as in on voice channels and stuff like that, so it is much better. Right, so number 2, we'll do, I'm right on the bubble stiff and, okay, so first you will go understand, if you're right on the bubble of stiff and regular, you've been on the bubble for stiff and regular for a long time, because there is no such thing as right on the bubble in stiff and regular. There is if you're looking at a single manufacturer with a singular bend profile and you change your loading profile linear to that. So you don't change your bend profile whatsoever, you literally just reduce the amount that you load it by linearly, then yes, you are right. The problem with the stiff and regular idea of shafts, that every single manufacturer's understanding of what is stiff, what is regular, is absolutely different. And so you can absolutely have someone fitting some manufacturer's, one manufacturer's stiff shaft, but also fit another manufacturer's extra stiff shaft, and then also fit another manufacturer's regular shaft. And within reason, they are very, 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 very similar in their bend profile or their stiffness, what people would see. It's just that one manufacturer says that one thing is stiff, while another manufacturer said that's not stiff, it's regular, and there you go. And this is why it's just such a mess. That's why you should never look at stiffness, flex, as a measure of anything other than the category of which that manufacturer puts that model of shaft. That is it. Makes no difference to you, it has to be fit to you. Again, measuring how you load the shaft, and then measuring, depending on how you load the shaft, to the bend profile of a particular shaft. That's why not all shafts will fit you, and blah, 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 blah. So to answer the question on that one, absolutely get bend profile tested. It can make a world of difference when you are properly custom fit properly for a shaft. You can bumper car fit, you can go somewhere where they're pretty good and they bumper car fit. That's there's a reason why they bumper car. What I mean by that is effectively they will start you off on one shaft and see how you get on, and then they'll give you another shaft completely opposite to that and see how you get on. And then effectively, depending on which way you go, you'll go until you get to the right one. It can take a long time. It cannot be perfect in the slightest, but there is a reason for it. By doing that way, they purposely will limit the number of shafts that you test to the head manufacturers of which they've got them options in. There's no point in giving you a bend profile testing session to find out 3 swings, 4 swings, whatever it be, find out that you are this shaft, and then find out that that shaft is only done in 2 of the 5 manufacturers that they supply or able to fit, because straight away you've then just effectively knocked out 3 of the 5, and now you're only down to 2 manufacturers. Generally speaking, custom fitting facilities will never do that because it limits sales, and they want to give you the absolute best possible chance of buying something, which means never ever taking anything out of the equation unless you do. Right. So Ryan, hello Ryan, hope you're well. Ryan F says, thoughts on Cobra's new Future Fit adapter? Seems like a fitter's wet dream. It is. It's amazing. It's brilliant. It's wonderful. I love it. It's great. And that Discord invite is different, I think, by the looks of that. I'm not quite sure. Andy, not quite sure if it's, doesn't matter. It may work, may not, not quite sure, but the one in the, there, we'll click on that. So it's amazing. It's potentially, going forward, if it's adopted or adapted by lots and lots of golfers, and the golfers love it, then I cannot see a reason why other manufacturers wouldn't change the way they do, especially the ones that haven't got a lot of adjustment on their adapters already. I could see them absolutely changing over to something like that rather fast, because it's an amazing thing. It is really very, very good. I don't think enough has been put out there for the reviews of, there are some people that obviously just touch on it and talk about one thing or do this, but it's just brilliant. It really is. To the fact that you can see on the I can't remember what they call it now, not helix or whatever they call it anyway, of the pattern of all these 33 different options. If you are one way, let's say that's your ball flight over there, or that's what your ball flight, just do the opposite. Whatever the opposite is to where you don't want the golf ball to go, your pattern is say high right or anything else like that, you set it down to low left, and then that would just takes it. It's an amazing thing. It's really very, very good. It's overcomplicated because unfortunately people overcomplicate it. It is not that. There's a lot of settings on it, absolutely there are. 33 or so different settings, yes, there is. However, I mean, I might be able to get the information up here really quickly. So I say really quickly. When you're doing things by yourself as such, really quickly doesn't necessarily happen. But let's see if we can do it anyway. I've got it up on here somewhere. And then I can get up on there, I'm not quite sure. Oh, it's somewhere, but yeah, I don't want to mess it up. The flow. Okay, so it's here. Let's see if I can open it up. You can see it's in the background. See, ooh, I'm moving stuff. Oh, I'm moving stuff now. I didn't want to do that. I didn't realise it was, what's it callable? So, if I can show that slideshow from where it is. No. That there, don't know if you can see it, or you should be able to see it there. That is an amazing thing. I'll see if I can flick through to see if there is another one on here. God, look at all the information that I have on this golf club. Ah, there we go. Future Fit 33. And you can see how much choice you've got. Look, oh, we've got graphics as well, look. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. That one there. So I will see if I can get that up on screen at one point for you, because it is an amazing thing, just having it on there. So if you imagine, if you hit high right, which is there, yeah? That is B6 setting, yeah? That is the setting to make it go that way. If you want it to go, obviously you don't want that, you set it in the opposite one down here, and that is F2. And that is as max that way, the other way as possible. So that's your miss, you set it over there. If that's your miss, you set it over there. If left is your miss, you set it over there. Kind of get the idea. If low is your miss, you set it up to there, and if high is your miss, you set it. It's a brilliant thing. That is as complicated as it needs to be, really. And if you want to mess around with individual ones, you can do, but effectively that is as simple as it needs to be. And the other intermediate ones are basically you tinkering. The whole idea, if you're having to worry about the individual ones, you're near enough there. But the whole idea is this is for the fitters side of things to just adjust slightly for spin profiles and stuff. But then again, guys, you have to page 53. Yeah, I know, Andy. There's enough, right? You really, honestly, if you are to the point of where you're finding little tiny little bits like down here and around that, you're a good golfer. Yeah, you haven't got to worry about. That is a wondrous thing. I love it. It's a great thing. For a fitter's dream, it is brilliant. Client says, if you were fitted to regular and decided to try stiff, what type of miss would you look to for determine you to need to go back to regular? Right, again, there's no such thing as okay, how do I... Manufacturers have drummed it in for years, decades, the myths of golf. The classic myth idea of if it's too stiff, it will go right, and if it's too weak, flexy, regular, whatever it be, it will go left, is cobblers. It just doesn't work that way. It works that way if you believe it will. But the years of testing that I have done with individual, normal, bog standard people that don't know what they've got in their hands because I haven't told them, I've got years and years of experience to say categorically, do you know what, doesn't make a difference. The general speaking, the only difference I've ever found when you give someone something too stiff and too heavy, because generally speaking, stiffness and heaviness, weight, comes hand in hand, not always, but as a general rule it does, is that if you give them something too stiff, the worst thing they do is makes them straighter, but they also sometimes lack yardage. They don't swing as fast because the mass is heavy. However, that is then also absolutely counteracted by a good number of people which actually swing a heavier, stiffer club faster than the lighter flexi one, because whatever they've got in their heads, they feel that they can commit to it, or whatever words they want to use, and so that even blows out the water. But there is still a pattern, I would say, of generally speaking, the stiffer you go, the straighter someone gets. But that's so individual. I cannot for a moment say in any way, shape or form that is a pattern that any guys that are watching this and decide to do the test will actually see. It is just such a messy, shafts are messy because human beings are messy creatures, and the whole idea of stiffness, I hate people talking about flex because it's nothing to do with flex, it's bend profile. Because again, stiffness, if you just talk about stiff and regular, well, that can mean a myriad of different things for a different manufacturer. You could be talking about, if you're talking about I'm a stiff shafted player, and you go down one neck of the woods of a manufacturer, that will be their regular ones. And if you go to another manufacturer's, that will be their extra stiff ones. And no different for the regulars, that will be their senior shafts and even stiff. And so if you then were to sort of go to one manufacturer, say I'm a stiff, and then you go to another manufacturer's stiff, but that plays like another one's regular, then you're just in a bend profile test. I fit this shaft, and there you go. That's the way forward. People have to understand it's EI curve, it's bend profile, nothing to do with flex. Flex is as soon as you get into a bend profile that you want, then you're within the flex of a manufacturer. But if you look at the EI curves, the bend profile of a shaft, and the difference between a regular and a stiff of those two, they are so close together. They literally track each other because they are the same bend profile, but just a fraction stiffer. It makes much more of a difference when you're going from different manufacturers' bend profiles than anything to do with the tiny intermediate jumps of stiffness, flex, within one manufacturer's bend profile shaft. It's, yeah. Thank you for clearing up. Can you give a quick recap on question 1, the audio messed up grip size? Yes, grip size is absolutely up to you. Do a patterned test, as in you go out and get one that's really thick and one that's really thin, or whatever it be, see how you react. Don't take one session as that is exactly what you need. Do it on multiple occasions so you see how you react different days, and see if there's a pattern. If there is no pattern, you can have exactly what you want, doesn't matter, go for what you feel and what you like the feel of, etc. If there is a pattern, very quickly then you'll understand that with 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter how many times you continue to do it, there's a continuous pattern of a too fat a grip will do this, a too thin a grip will do that. And yeah, you work with whatever suits you. There is no such thing as turn around and saying that if you have a grip too fat, it doesn't allow your hands to rotate, release, or whatever it is, and if it's too thin, it over-releases. And that's very simplistic, massive kind of, I'm just going to say something for supporting the myths of golf, when it is just such, yeah. There you go. There's no specific miss, only that you miss more. I'll talk about the flex thing, yeah. Flex does not matter for me. Shaft weight definitely does for me, though. Yeah, I mean, shaft weight can have a huge difference to vertical low point, strike point on the face, how you interact with the ground, and how you release the face depending. Well, that's more swing weight, but that's a different thing. We're talking difference between static weight and swing weight. Not always the same thing, because depending on whether the weight distribution of a shaft is, again, gets boring. Alberto, hello Alberto, hope you're well. It'd be really nice, Alberto, it's always great to have you on for all the open all access lives that I get a chance to do. I will be doing more of them going forward. The whole idea is I am dumping off YouTube memberships on the idea now of transferring over to the website, www.askgolfnut.com, because on there I have got all the information about all the heat maps and all the lovely tools and features. Again, if you want to go on askgolfnut.com, you can have a little look on there because there's a little summary on the homepage. But effectively, I'm putting all of the perks and all of the interaction side of things that you get from a YouTube point of view over to the website, and also obviously still got Discord, and Discord is doing well. It's a great arena for people to be able to ask questions like this. And there's loads and loads of people on there that are more than welcome to interact and help, not just take the mick and be a right pain in people's backsides that you do get on a lot of places. The great thing with the AGN community is the fact that we are, generally speaking, a very, very polite and kind bunch. I hope things are good on my end, apart from a poorly knee still. That's not getting better, which is a bit of a pain. That's now 3 weeks or whatever, and I was hoping it was going to be done by now, but no, it's still like that. As for me, hoping to get back playing golf sometime next year after months of shoulder injuries. Yes, I understand how that must irritate. I'm in a similar situation with my knee, and I've got lots and lots of stuff I still need to do. Ian Watkinson, hello, or Wilkinson, sorry. Hello, Ian, hope you're well. I started playing this year. I'm left-handed. My condolences. But play right. There you go. That's the way to do it. Any thoughts on putting styles or equipment such as arm lock, broomstick? On my last session, I was being asked to try different grips. Yes, depends. I mean, so if it's identified as the grip or your putting being a massive issue in how you're not scoring or scoring, then grip can have a huge impact on your stroke, or at least how you release the putter and how you are able to retain a certain face angle relative to your path and relative to your start line. Yeah, I would. It depends. There's a technical side to putting, absolutely. There's a massive technical side to putting, depending on your technique and if it's sound or not. If it's not sound, then obviously, yeah, go all through the lessons of how to putt properly. If it's sound, it's pretty decent, and you've got a singular miss, then absolutely changing a club, changing an alignment point, changing the neck, changing very simple things. Putting is it's like a black art. It's not like you've got some form of rule book that you have in custom fitting to a certain extent, because custom fitting really within the human side of things is effectively a science. As in, if you had 10 fitters doing it the correct way and 10 people, within a very, very tiny margin, you should end up with all of them being very, very close to the exact result. There should not be much deviation at all, apart from the human side within that control set. When it comes to putting, good luck on that one, because we all do things wacko differently. And you do something with one person and it has an effect, you do the same thing to another person, it has the opposite effect. And so with putting, after the technical side, very much so, that's why it's important to get custom fit properly for your putter, so you get the right everything. Because there is no way that anyone can turn around and say that if you have an alignment line here, or 2 alignment lines, or a slant neck or anything, or you have a blade or a mallet, you have all these different types of permutations of how you can have a putter set up of different length and lie in, and it's just ridiculous. So you've got to get properly custom fit. But well done, by the way, being left-handed, like me, but play right-handed, like me. It's brilliant for the amount of equipment that you've now got on offer, because as a left-hander, difficult. Right, Orlando Golf Guru, OGG. Question about putting. Yeah, I've heard heavy putters are better for slow greens and vice versa. However, I've also seen data that heavy heads move slower, so result in shorter putts yielding shorter. Okay, so I'm a heavy-headed putter user. Yeah. I prefer a heavier head, and I prefer, because I've been using Mizuno putters with the weights, transferable weights, for quite a few years, since the M Craft, which was I think something like 2019, I could be wrong, someone Google it. But I've been using that for the last 5 years or so, and from my previous Scotty Cameron, Newport Beach, yeah, I think it was, and the weights at the bottom, they come in 3, 8 and 13 grams. I have the 8s in there normally, and then I'll put the 3s in there when it comes to the summertime, when the greens are faster, so the head doesn't weigh as much, doesn't transfer as much energy in the golf ball. The golf ball doesn't move as fast, so I can keep my stroke the same, and within reason the same. Obviously it's not an exact science, but within reason the same, and get a similar output. No different to the winter time when the green They're a little bit more lush from a point they don't cut them, obviously, and they are slower. And so I put the heavier 13-gram weights in. It adds weight to the head. It means I can keep my stroke exactly the same, transfer a bit more weight or energy into the golf ball, and you get a little bit more speed. To counter the fact that you've got a faster, a slower green through the faster ball speed. That's the concept. I'm not saying I'm right, I'm just saying it works for me. Have I purposely seen the information like that? I'd like to see it. I would like to critique it. Have I seen it? No. There's just a preference, and I prefer a heavier head. I can control pace better with a heavier head than I can with a lighter head, because I feel like I have to do the work. I have to purposely put effort into it. With a heavier head, I can just keep a nice pendulum action, and I don't necessarily have to feel like I have to work to hit it. Name withdrawn, so there's no universal stiff or regular. Absolutely right. There is no regular or stiff. There is no right, stiff is a certain amount of cycles per second or anything else like that. It is literally some manufacturer going, oh, I'm just going to call that regular, or I'm going to call that stiff. Yeah. Just White 1, Mizuno Swing DNA recommendation was a 95-gram shaft, currently playing, have I gone too far? Yeah, it's playing a 75-gram shaft, but feel I need a lighter shaft, 7.9 swing speed, 73, thoughts please? Right, they obviously 95-gram shaft. I'm assuming that's a steel one, etc. They are absolutely on the lighter side of things, and you can get very, 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 very light steel shafts nowadays. But if you feel, this is the whole idea of proper fitting, is the fact that you can have a DNA session to understand your bend profile, but then you have to work with a human. Again, humans are messy creatures, they have their preferences. Now you can say absolutely, categorically, without a shadow of a doubt, to the client, the individual, you need this shaft. You are absolutely 5 stars, bang on this shaft, that's what you need. But then if the client, the golfer, doesn't feel that, doesn't believe it, has whatever it be, whatever the stop in the trust or the want for the client or golfer to go along with it, to test it, you have to work with them. And this is where you're trying, from a fitter's point of view, you can look at the Swing DNA shafts analyzer and go, right, this is what it is, and then get that shaft, and there you go. The trick of being a decent fitter then is being able to say when they don't like it and they want to go quite some distance away, is having all those in your head, the EI curves, the bend profiles, so you can, within reason, keep them as close as you possibly can get to something which you know they need because of how they load it, but then put it in a package which is going to kind of work at a lighter or heavier weight. This is now not an exact science at all. Different when you're getting shaft matched exactly what you need. There's your shaft which is matched, there you go. If then they resist and you have to then come up with something, you're trying to do your absolute best. But then that is then absolutely down to the experience of the fitter and how good they are at fitting. Because obviously the software will only go a certain way. Anthony Lopez says, I don't know if this question is in line with the shaft discussion, but what are effective ways to cut down on vibration transferred through the club? Old wrist injury, does not love tons of rattle and vibration. Okay, so as a general rule, striking the golf ball well. That by far, guys, is going to give you the best. Don't talk about, oh, let's get steel and put in graphite, massively thick grips, making sure that you've got soft grips. No, making sure you make half decent contact. You can get away with toes, you can get away with heels, you can get away with high, even though you can hit the ground first. It's the low on the face that is going to give you the properly good, fuzzy, February fingers, and that's no fun at all. It's the thin, within reason, it's the thin contacts that will do it. And so do your best you can do at hitting half okay shots is the first point. After that, yes, graphite will absorb a little bit more of the vibration than the likes of steel. Thick and soft grips, again, you've got to be careful of your swing weight, because obviously you're going to go thick and soft, that's potentially going to be heavier, and so you might have to worry about your swing weight on that one. But they're the ways. It's no fun whatsoever having sensitive wrists or elbows when you're going to be swinging in the winter time, because that's just a recipe for something to happen. And he says, graphite, less vibration, less impact shock. Yep, it absolutely does. Client says, sorry you were breaking up when talking about slower swing speed player irons. Currently using game improvement irons, but want to get away from flyers in consistent distances. Thanks, Rick. Right, okay, Rick. The interesting thing with inconsistent irons is what you'll find is, from experience of dealing with custom fits, that obviously amateur golfers don't hit the golf ball well as a general rule. They do use a lot of the face. Now, there's always this thing. You will get to a certain point. We're using 7 irons. Most of the time we're using 7 irons in fitting situations. You can't help that because that's what all manufacturers within reason give for fitting accounts to fit with, because it works with the shaft lengths of changing shafts and all this lot. Now, as a general rule, yes, you're going to find people which are uber quick, but as a general rule, you're going to find people that are in their 80 to 70 miles an hour as a zone, as a general fitting zone for people. And with the crank lofts nowadays of golf clubs getting very much so stronger, 27 degree or so 7 irons, that actually you're finding in old school terms, or not even old school terms, it's sort of like even modern traditional terms, they're 5 iron lofts. And so with 5 iron lofts, you're going to get 5 iron spin, and sometimes even less than 5 iron spin, because of the fact that the 7 irons that you're dealing with has a lower center of gravity than the 5 iron blades do. So you're going to have a higher launch, but then a lower spin through gearing. So what you're going to find is, even at 7 iron, for the 70 to 80 miles an hour grouping, when you're talking about shots which are mishit across the face, you're getting very, very close to spin profiles that have a massive difference in the distance that you're going to hit. Because there's a point of where, like the classic, everyone's done it. Everyone's hit their driver and they've mishit it on the face, although they don't think they mishit it on the face, but they've mishit it on the face in a certain area, which has made the flight just wonderful. An optimal amount of launch, spin, and speed for that launch conditions that's given them massive distance that they're normally used to. Everyone's hit that shot and go, whoa, how did that happen? I want to do it again. Well, it happens the same thing with irons. There's a certain point when you mishit something that you get a natural drop off, that you will do, and this is what people perceive that to be as inconsistent. They get flyers. It's not actually because that golf club, in essence, is inherently inconsistent. It is for that golfer who swings at that speed, who also delivers those angles, that amount of loft into the golf ball, all those parameters, and then they mishit it, which then has a representative gear effect drop, and then you get that higher launch, low spin, or you come out of the same thing when you get grass trapped between the golf club. If you're that close to the drop-off point of where you're going to start getting like kind of driver flights, like that kind of flight, then yeah, you're going to find a golf club being more inconsistent. Generally speaking, the easiest way to fix that, absolutely, if it's just equipment based, you find a golf club with a high spin number, which I mean by loft for loft adjusted. Different golf clubs spin golf balls differently. If you keep everything exactly the same golf ball and stuff, you just opt for a golf club which spins the golf ball more. As soon as you get to that area of, it still is going to happen. Whether it happens at your 6 or your 5 iron, it's still going to happen. But the whole idea, by that point, you transition out of that into something like a hybrid head, and it changes again. And so this is all fitting. Effective. Your fitter should be able to do this. The fitter will know straight away, looking at your spin profile, at the speed you deliver and how you deliver and where your misstrikes are. Your fitter should look at it and go, I could perceive this as be a problem. Okay, then it's difficult, because then you've got to explain to the golfer who might be hitting them really well and loving them that actually these golf clubs aren't going to work. Or they're going to work fine, but that golf club there is going to be a problem. Oh, I'm hitting it fine. I know you are, but in the real world, this is going to be a problem, especially if you talk about wind as well. When you're wind into is wind down, it has an effect on that spin. So hitting the golf ball into the wind is effectively like hitting it with more spin. It's not, but it is to a certain extent. And then obviously downwind, it's like having less spin. There's no difference in the spin, it's just how the wind, because one's traveling into the wind, it will create more lift, etc., as the other one, and drag, and then obviously the one down, yeah, kind of get the idea. So that's why getting custom fit properly is so important, because it's not just some fitter deciding, that's the kind of golf club you want. It's having the right idea about what composition you need, yeah, I mean, there's again, seamless segue. On the website, www.askgolfnut.com, on the gold tier, we have a self-fitting app, and that whole app is what you put your information in there. That was the whole idea of what that was designed to do, to give you guys an understanding of what point you need to be looking at, what kind of composition you need. And there's no point having 4, 5 and 6 irons that within reason descent angles at such ridiculous amount that effectively all you'd need is a breath of wind and the golf ball's not going to stay in the air. So, right. Next one. Where are we down to? Evan, hopefully Evan's okay. Hope you're well, buddy. Sorry I'm late. Please start over, Jay. Just press the replay button on that one. Although Dale says, good morning, Jay. On the stream after the lesson this morning. Yeah, it's weird. It's, yeah, how time delays go. There's a lot more designs on putters than drivers there's a lot more designs on putters than drivers for a reason. Absolutely right, Andy. You are spot on there. There is a reason why. Generally speaking, on a manufacturer, you may have maximum 4 heads. You'll have the maximum forgiveness one, you'll have the low spin head one, you'll have the draw one, and you'll have a standard one, maybe. Yeah. Other manufacturers have 3. Yeah. So the low spin, the max, and the draw one. There is a reason why there is so many different head styles. There is so many different, like some even have like 2 alignment lines, 1 alignment line, no alignment line, a different coloured alignment line. Where the alignment lines are, Adele, when it comes to putting, sorry, got a notification on my phone. You've got how the shafts go in, so many different types. Then you're talking about how the head flows, zero torque, all those different things. It's just a myriad of different things. And Andy's bang on right. Ian says, I was fitted for my club at Club Champion, still not great. Yeah, thanks, Jay. Hope your knee recovers soon. You can get, you have a great Christmas. Yeah, I've booked myself Christmas Day and Boxing Day off, and half of New Year's Eve. So I'm working the morning and afternoon of New Year's Eve, but I've given myself 2.5 days as such, although technically New Year's Eve don't count because by 4 o'clock in the afternoon most people are finishing anyway. But no, I'll be working on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then I'm having Christmas Day and Boxing Day off because I've got too much stuff to do. Really need to get done. Evan says, the weird thing about putting is... Hang on. The weird thing about putting is there's no best putter or putting grip or putting stroke. You're right. Whatever works for you is the best thing. Ian says, I am seeing a putting specialist in January, and they will take a look at everything, including the fitted putter. Good. Really good. They can be exceptionally expensive, though. Going to a putter fitter, that's my only gripe about things costing too much, generally speaking, but there you go. Evan says every other club has pretty much standardized into basic design, and then you get nasty metal abomination putters that work well for some. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Nahingra John says recently learned about puring the shafts. Thoughts on that? Spine? Oh god, yeah. No, for the vast majority of golfers, absolutely don't even bother. It's wonderful for the club builders which like to charge for the service to get your clubs pured. So basically, within reason, very quickly, what they do is they basically put a shaft, a grip with the shaft coming out, it's in the vise, and effectively they put the head on the end, and they ping it vertically up and down, like that. Yeah, and the head should obviously oscillate up and down, but it doesn't, because effectively what you'll see, it will do this after a certain amount of time. Yeah, it'll start up and down and then start going, and the people that are trying to explain it in a way of pushing you to make sure you do this with all your golf clubs is saying that when it's banging around like this, banging around all these little circular motions and stuff, when it started off doing this, and they're saying that's how inconsistent that shaft is. You're loading the shaft in that way as it should be bending that way, and effectively you can see it's moving around like this. They are right. However, the thing they miss out is the fact that when you ping it up and down, it doesn't just ping up and down and instantly go ping up and down. What it does, it starts off like that, and then it goes after a while, then it starts doing this, and then it starts doing that. Google shaft cycling, guys, and how many times during the swing your golf club goes effectively into maximum lag, lead, yeah, and then they ping it and it goes blah, 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 blah. Well, that's 15 golf swings. Yeah. So does it make a massive difference to some people's brains? Absolutely. And for those people that believe it and feel that it makes a difference, absolutely it will make a difference for them, because the human brain is the most important part of the whole process of the human being. So yeah. Right, where are we up to now? Andy says, modern shafts are made too good for Purian to make much sense. Hi, Merry Christmas, Jay, from Ryan. Hello, Ryan, hope you're well. Every single person that is a member, YouTube member, just want to make everyone aware that you, if possible, you need to, one, get in contact with us to get your access to the AskGolfNut.com website, where you've got all of the forgiveness stuff on there, all fun, lovely little toys at your tier level to see. And of course, we are now moving over from YouTube memberships over to the payment method on the website. There's a reason why, because YouTube, as I will say, and YouTube might cut me off right now, but YouTube basically take a massive chunk from you guys that do pay to have your tier access. They take a massive chunk, up to around about half of the money. And of course, the whole idea of the whole process is to enable better, bigger, nicer features and data collection and all this to continue. And for it to continue the best way possible, it makes much more sense if there could be a way that the more of the funds that you put in is then transferred into putting back into it. And going from a YouTube thing, which takes on near enough half, to the factor where you can go to a PayPal structure, and that takes about 3%, is a huge difference. But there you go. So all the guys which are members, if you could look into, first of all, having got your website access, if you can direct message me either on Discord or on email, askgolfnut@gmail.com or j@askgolfnut.com. Either one, doesn't matter. I can put you your username and password. And of course, when, if possible, when your YouTube payment, like there's a monthly payment, once that's finished, if you kill that and go over to the website and log on, do your bits and pieces on there in my account, you can go for that. If anyone needs any help, again, just direct message me or email me and I can help anyone go through the process. Right, Andy says, Ask GolfNut, or you can visit AskGolfNut.com and check out the self-fit section to find out which irons will work at what speed and swing. That self-fit app on the gold tier is the single-handedly the best thing I have ever seen from a functional client-based, golfer-based. It's just great. The fact that when I was coaching custom fitting full-time, if I had that self-fit app, and I would have got rid of so many conversations that I didn't need to have of when you're talking about golfers when they're coming for their custom fit and they're swinging at 78 miles an hour. And they're hitting their 7-iron X distance, whatever it be, and we're talking about trying to increase their peak heights and stuff. And once you've done all that and they come to right, so I'm having 4 to pitching wedge, am I? I'm like, no, not 4 to pitching wedge. Maybe 6, definitely 7 to pitching wedge, maybe not even a 6. What do you mean? I've always used 4 to pitching wedge. Yeah, but your golf clubs are 28 years old. And loft years ago was somewhat different. And so we're going to be talking about what wedges you need, and up until say a 7-iron, possibly if you want a 6, you might have to go into something which is going to help launch it a little bit more, but you're definitely not hitting 4 and 5. But I've always had 4 and 5. I really want 4 and 5. Like 4 and 5 iron are literally going to go about that high. You're not going to, and they're all going to go the same distance. You're going to get bunching. It's just going to be no good whatsoever. The whole process of that over the years, I have spent quite a few, probably, I don't know, I'd love to about total it all up, how many hours, days, weeks I've spent with those kind of conversations. That self-fit app, you stick all your information in there, 3 different data points, that will give you a very, very good understanding of how your 4-iron or 5-iron is going to go into a green. Absolutely straight away. Anything is less than 40%, 40%, 40 degrees, sorry, going into a green, that is not stopping. So if you've got a 4-iron and it's going at 35 degrees into a green, good luck. Now, if you want a driving iron, that's different. You can have a look on there and say, look, a 4-iron goes in at whatever it'll be. That could be a really good driving iron, especially if they make a 3-iron. There's no 3-irons on this, but if they do make a 3-iron, you could be thinking, well, absolutely that can be a driving iron. But yeah, that's the whole idea of that self-fit hat. Now, that is on the gold tier. That's on the highest tier, which I think $13.99 for the website. And that side of things alone will save you ridiculous amounts of money. One golf club, not buying, I mean, golf clubs, I don't know, some of the players' distance irons now are, well, they're well over £200 a golf club. So, I mean, that's like all year plus for saving of one golf club. 18 months worth for one golf club. Right. Richard says, hey, hope you're doing well. All good apart from the knee. What's your views on one length irons? Great for certain aspects of consistency if people need to really have that as a consistency, but terrible when it comes to long irons and interesting when it comes to short irons with the height that you can get because of the shaft lengths and inconsistent distance gaps. You get this kind of like that kind of effect where you have nice distance gaps at the top here, 7-iron, 8-iron and stuff. And as soon as you go that way for the long irons, they get really too close. And if you go that way, they also bunch up as well. So yeah, I used to play them and shot best rounds to date, but since wrapped traditional length, I'm not yet convinced was the right move. If it works for you, Richard, honestly, if it works for you, get them. Use them, brilliant. I've heard there's a reason why everyone is not using one length irons. There is a reason why still predominantly to the 99% or whatever it is that everyone still uses traditionally conventional lengths stepped irons. Course Junkie says, I have a higher swing speed, 113 miles an hour with a 3-wood. Go on. And I'm needing a fairway wood to fill the gap between my 3 and 4-iron. I'm not surprised. Would I see enough difference playing a 3 and 5 wood? Interesting, you see, obviously you're hyper quick, and if you're hyper fast, then depending on for functionality, if you're going to go into a green, I would say 5 wood. If you're going to go for gapping and you don't obviously down the fairway off the tee or wherever it be, then you could probably get away with a 3-iron stroke 2-iron. Would I want to hit a 2-iron off the deck? Absolutely not. So yeah, I'd be going in 5 wood. 5 wood, you do have to be aware, obviously, potentially the height that you're going to get at your speed, but it's well worth a test. One of those two. Maybe a 5 wood de-lofted a little bit. Right, well, here we go. Where am I now? Jay Bartman says, loving playing on the Self-Fit app. It is brilliant. I don't know who created it. I'm not going to obviously say his name. He has been on. He has had a little, where is it? Right at the very top, yeah. Certain someone, won't say who that is, has done himself proud on that one. Oh, it really has. Right. Ryan say, Ian Fraser must be a subscriber. He has just uploaded What's in the Bag. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he's not. No, I agree with a lot of things that Ian says. I'm pretty certain. The interesting thing, the golf YouTubers are a weird bunch, generally speaking. We're not, the golf YouTubers, generally speaking, aren't community in themselves. They are, yeah, it's a weird bunch, really. You get certain ones that get on with other ones, but as a general rule, it's a weird thing. I've never understood it, but yeah, there you go. So Jack says, do you prefer to strengthen or weaken lofts? Have Apex Pro and CB combo and look to add a 5-iron AI 200 or 300? So basically the reason why I would choose one or the other would only be down to bounce, how much bounce a golf club's got on it and offset. So say with Mizuno, historically, although as the years go on, they are starting to get a bit more in the word of bounce. Not a huge amount, but slightly more. You could quite easily, on the long irons, if you were to strengthen up a long iron on certain irons, have no bounce on it whatsoever. Now that's absolutely fine if you've got if you're a really good ball striker and stuff like that. But bounce, It's helpful marginally. If you're it's like the ultimate tininess of help, and it's micro, but if it's there, it's there. You can quite easily, with de-loft, as in a case you naturally de-loft, say a 5-iron or 4-iron or whatever it be, and it is being cranked strong to meet, say, a stronger set of golf clubs, then you could find the interaction with that golf club is decidedly different, because it's just front leading edge happy. But yeah, I prefer, if I can, to weaken, because it takes some of the offset off and it becomes more in line and looks more player-like. And with the Mizuno set, it never hurts having a fraction more bounce. Marcus Malone and Marcus Malone. And Marcus Malone has message retracted. I'm not quite sure what Marcus was going to say. Alex says, hi Alex, hope you're well. Alex, have you got your username and password for everyone? Have they got their username and password? So everyone who's watching now, who's a member, just type yes or no if you've got your username and password for AskGolfNut.com. So Alex says, like most things in golf, it's in the head. You are not wrong on that one. Evan says, course junkie, get a 2-iron. That's it, Evan. Yeah, go on, that's all he needs. Egging on. Ryan says, if you had to be affiliated with one brand, excluding Mizuno, based on the quality of their equipment, who would you choose? Wilson. Jack, on the irons, yes. I haven't fell in love with their woods, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. YouTube drink time. Never really jumped on the wood bandwagon with Wilson. The irons are, yep. On hardware, if I had to be affiliated with one brand, excluding Mizuno, so based on the quality of their equipment, it would absolutely be Wilson irons, Cobra woods. Evan says, Jack, your Apex irons may be more forgiving than the AI 200, 300, unless your contact miss is lateral, not vertical. Evan is, so Jack is not a member, so Jack wouldn't know. So obviously on my video reviews, I've done the heat maps for the AI 200 and 300. Evan is referencing, where is it, Evan? Yeah. Evan is referencing the heat maps, which I have done for those, and then obviously referencing as a comparison to others, because a part of the bronze tier membership that you get from www.askgolfnut.com is to be able to compare different golf clubs, the ones that I have already reviewed. And so you can put the 200 and 300 together and see how they differ on their sweet spot or their efficiency drop off. Red is bad, green is good, and all that light. And then you can obviously compare it against other manufacturers' golf clubs of a similar ilk, and then you can compare directly how one is more forgiving than the other. When I say more forgiving, I mean it's more consistent is better wording than forgiving. Consistent is more an understanding of how that golf club is able to retain ball speed from weird and wonderful hits. Marcus, he has his question. All things being equal, which shafts produce more spin and height between GG 105, Modus 120 or MMT 105 stiff? Thanks in advance. Marcus, you've come to the wrong person when it comes to a definitive answer between that, because if you go by the manufacturers that you will, well, no manufacturer will compare other ones as such, but you are going to get a marketing result, whatever that will be. You'll get a marketing result. In actual fact, if you were to put, oh my word, let's put 100 golfers and you got them to hit 100 shots with 3 diffs. They hit 300 shots, each 100 of them golfers, and you got them to measure the differences. There would be in that data set, remember, I'm not saying they're all equal, but I am saying this. If you were to look at the 100 golfers separately and look at the deviation differences between all 3, there would be some which are none, some which are masses, absolutely masses, yeah? And so if you were to look them as a overall, you would see there is no pattern at all. If you were to look at them individually and look at the results from individual golfers, you would see, wowzers, where do I fit in that bracket? So you need to test yourself, how sensitive you are to bend profile, and without any kind of preconceived ideas, so best you can do, try and do this test without looking as to what you have in there, see which one you are. That's the only way, that's the only answer. Anyone gives you an answer which is definitively telling you that the Modus 105 stiff will potentially spin it more. It probably won't. Might be the MMT will do. But as a pattern, no. As a individual, possibly. But without saying, I cannot say at all that you are even close to being anyone on either side. You have to find out, unfortunately, for yourself. Jay Bartman, 01, that's it. I'm notorious for just buying and trying, and the Self-Fit app lets me understand where to actually start and go and try, etc. It's great. I'm glad you enjoy it. It is an amazing tool. Evan is basically dobbing in Andy for the person. Evan says, what if Andy was real AskGolfNut all along? Oh my word, that would be scary. Not only do I listen to myself constantly when I am editing over and over and over again, and then edit this, take this about, right, can listen to it again. Oh, there's a little break there, try and chop this little bit out. People don't need to know the ins and outs of a duck's backside when you're talking about this. Okay, cut that bit out. Listen to myself over and over and over again, then release a video. I'm actually then talking to myself all this time, trying to get, no. Andy's real. He looks definitely different to me. He's definitely got different skill sets to I, and Andy is just a general nut. No, Andy is he's brainy nut. Someone come up with a thing about what Andy what was a funny nickname for, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it for you guys, work that one out. There you go. That was, just in case you wanted to know that, was the wife wanting to know something. So I had to very quickly reply. Surprised it didn't come through on my phone, but there you go, doesn't matter. Right, Don says, hi Jay, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I wish the self-fitting tool was around when I get my new clubs, would have saved me a lot of money. Absolutely. That's the reason why, Don, that self-fitting app was created, on the basis of that singular fact alone. It has grown, and it is grown to a point of where now the Self-Fit app, you can absolutely you can compare to golf clubs. So you basically put your information in and you can compare every single one of the 50 or so I've got in there now as to how that it would work for you relative to each other. It is just brilliant, really is. Evan says, JB, the Self-Fit, Jay Barton, I think. The Self-Fit may be dangerous because knowing the clubs that work for you gives you less excuse not to buy them. Wow. John Tuff says, consider upgrading my Ping i210s. What would you suggest in the Ping lineup? i230s. i230s is a great golf club. Absolutely. So done all the reviews for all the Ping irons now. Of course, there's a difference between, I'm just talking about forgiveness now, as a general rule on the whole, the i230s as a balance absolutely win. Just brilliant. They really, 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 really are my pick. One of the nicest feeling. Looks are subjective, it's up to you, but the i230 is just a winner. A winner on the Ping lineup line, iron lineup line. So absolutely is a winner. It is due to be replaced in August, September. Whether it will be, we down to Ping, and if they've got something that beats it. The greatest thing with Ping, as with not other manufacturers, but yeah, some still are, but basically Ping very much so. If they haven't got something that will beat it, they will not release it. There you go. That's why iBlade was on there for like 5-6 years. Anthony Jepper says, yep, I can't remember what I've said to make, oh yes, as in good. Anthony has got his username and password. I don't see many yeps. So, Andy says, i230 is the Ping go-to alternative Mizuno 243. Yep, They are very, 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 very similar. Got a good spin creation between the two, etc. So yeah, Jay Bartman 01. I tend to swing fast and hit low. Is there a shaft recommendation that could help with a little more height, or is that mainly strike delivery? Strike delivery. You could try adding more weight, static weight. That does have a pattern of bringing the vertical strike point up higher. But again, when I say a pattern, we're talking about golfers here, so it could change or could have no difference whatsoever. I've had much more, so when it comes to your vertical low point understanding, having a much better fix, you could call it, much better result on the basis of just thinking about how people push in the ground, how people understand ground force, has a much, much better result of changing the pattern of their vertical low point than just changing. Again, if it's easier for you, if you've got a really grooved in swing, you don't want changing anything whatsoever, you're absolutely happy with everything, and you just want to change something in your equipment to affect this. Now we are talking about elite players, generally speaking, then absolutely change your equipment. Just do something to your equipment very, very easily, quickly, just to change that, what you want to change. The vast majority of golfers, if they've got a problem with things like that, I wouldn't necessarily, unless it's a really quick, easy fix and it doesn't change anything else about delivery or anything else than that, yeah, but I'd change the golfer rather than change the equipment. It has to be a really, 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 really quick, easy fix. Client Bill says, the one problem I find with fitting apps is every club manufacturer design clubs with different offsets, bounce and size of the bottom of the club, different widths. Thoughts? Rick, yes they do. The importance though of, every manufacturer has, say, a different bounce, effective bounce because of sole thickness and that bounce. You then have an effective bounce by how much then you either add or take away loft from that golf club during the dynamics of your swing and into impact. And so this is why it's, the self-fit app can obviously do club head speed, angle of attack and shaft lean, and it will effectively give you what your flight would be with those. How you interact with the ground and how much help you need from a manufacturer because of your interaction with the ground. And what I mean by that is unwanted interaction with the ground, because you don't worry about how much or how big the sole is, because generally speaking, it's ball first, then floor, and not floor first, then ball. And so again, the self-fit app is going down the route of, look, under normal circumstances, ball first, optimally. This is what the difference in flight is between one golf club to the next golf club to the next golf club, so you can then dial in, because some golf clubs got better launch factor, as in more launch per loft than others. Some will spin more, so they'll change the flight based on spin differences between one golf club which spins it more and one golf club that spins it less. There are so many different things. And so, yeah, it's a lesson thing more than anything else on that one. But where have we got? Carl J 26. Have you ever used Mizuno Shaft Optimizer, and did you use any of the results in your bag? Have I? Or is Carl talking about someone else? We'll get to that one in a sec. Carl, just pop in there, unless as people are, because I'm catching up. Unless they've already answered you on this one. Course junkers, I played the JPX 93 tours and I love them, but with it being so difficult to find a T2450-52 in S grind, and you won't find a new one now, I'm considering buying the gap wedge. Are there any disadvantages to either? No. Have I got the gap wedge? Have I got the gap wedge? Have I got the gap wedge? No, I haven't. That's a pain. I thought I may have a gap wedge. I've got the old 921 gap wedge, but not the 923. I've never had an issue necessarily with the gap wedge. The only reason I would ever buy a 50 or so, 49, 50, whatever it will be, as a gap wedge, I use my gap wedge a lot. I use my 50 degree around the greens a lot, so I prefer a custom wedge. If that's not for you, and it makes no difference if you use one or the other, buy the gap wedge. Simple as that. Nice and easy. Anthony Lopez, I230 versus 243 versus CB. Favourite pick there? He's going to pick the Wilson, I reckon. Yes. I230 is the best overall iron from ping overall, including forgiveness and stuff. 243, that is really tricky because 243 does really very, very well, but so does the Hot Metal Pro. And weighted differently, I would say either the Hot Metal Pro or 243, depending on the golfer and what they need. Because both golf clubs do things slightly differently. But the Wilson CB, yes, when it comes to Wilson, absolutely is the pick of the lot. Evan says he's going to pick the Wilson. Well, I reckon, well, yeah. Andy would pick the I230. I mean, he already did. The best of 2024 video. Yeah. It's on balance because the Wilson just looks better. The reason why I pick it over the 243 is it looks better. I wasn't a great fan of the 243. No difference to the 223. I haven't been a great fan of of that kind of idea since MP20 MMC was good. Soon as it went to 2.2s, that's when I didn't really like it. I haven't really liked the look of it. That's just a personal thing. It makes no difference whatsoever because it performs brilliantly. So yeah, it's just like personal ones. It's the chrome on it, isn't it? No, it's 243 for me. It's the Wilson CB. It's just got chrome. It just looks lovely. It works just as well, really. It's just looks, yeah, feels nicer as well. Feels exactly the same on an 8-iron of a 243, because obviously we're talking about transition of metal, where the CB is just consistently that all the way through. So it's, yeah. Right, so Anthony Lopez says, what's the time? Got to keep an eye on the time. Oh, you're right, Andy. Client Builder said that's thanks for the response, Rick. No, you're always welcome. And so I totally forgot that. I don't get that. Regarding website, I can log it in, but don't see any options for changing membership. Right, so Alex. So what to do is let your YouTube membership lapse. Once it finishes, so you look at your billing date, effectively. Once that has lapsed, then you'll be able to go on to and start doing the same thing again, but onto the website. You log on the website, my account, and it will have it up there. So we have all your name, your email, you're changing your password if you want to. Underneath there will be bang, 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 the different tiers. And of course, then you'll be able to. Any issues whatsoever, just literally just direct message myself on Discord or AskGolfNut@gmail.com or jay@AskGolfNut.com. Either way, no worries whatsoever. Andy, there you go. You can't sign up with PayPal if your YouTube sub is active. You'll have to cancel it and wait till it runs, or canail it. Yeah, basically you'll have to wait until you either do one of two things. You can either wait until your natural subscription ends. So in case if you can cancel it at the end of the billing date, no problem whatsoever, or you can cancel it and it will just run out of the billing date anyway. But we cannot then, you won't be able to go onto your my account and then add it in until that billing date is gone, because effectively the database goes, well, you've still got a current YouTube membership, so we can't have your, yeah. So, but as soon as it's done and it's like that, just you go onto my account and it will work straight away. If you don't want to wait, don't DM me on Discord and I can force it. Yeah, Andy's good at that. You can, yeah, where there's a will, there's a way. So you do that, it's no problem. Alex says, thanks, Andy. Andy's very nice like that. Sean, hello, bud. Hope you're well. Have you ever heard of Mizuno 920? I have some, and they seem to be a Japan issue only, but I don't know what to compare to the US releases. No, I actually haven't. Not without going on the internet and asking or looking for a Google search myself. It is not uncommon for Japan to do their own thing for a lot of different golf clubs. There is very, very common for there to be Japan-only heads. And so I am not surprised whatsoever. They play great. I just found no info on the Japanese releases. No, they're very poor in doing so. Cause Junkie says, what's your favourite grass variety to play on? Any grass at all. I have been that busy this year with YouTube and other things. My social life, from a point of view of playing, So my recreational life, not my social life, but my recreational life has just been so focused on work that I haven't played golf this year. Yep. I played twice last year. Again, that's how busy I was. And I shot 1 under, 1 over. Yeah, 1 under, 1 over. Last year. I know. I'm quite lucky the fact that because of the amount of balls that I hit and what I'm doing constantly is the fact that sure, your short game gets a little bit rusty. I try, obviously, as best I can do to keep my short game just by chipping and sort of dialing in distances, etc. Putting is also very difficult sometimes, but generally speaking, I've always been a so-so putter anyway. I've never been. I don't struggle massively if I don't putt for a long while. It's because of the amount of balls that I generally hit, says my poorly knee. J Bart says, will S3 essentially be a blade? All good if I can't say due to embargo. So it is effectively a blade. It goes 241 S3. So going forward, and I can't talk about certain things because it's embargoed, effectively we can say this. Mizuno are going for a little bit of a rebranding when it comes to their Tour replacement, JPX Tour replacement. JPX Tour, 923 Tour, 921 Tour, anything 919 Tour, 900 Tour, they were all in the JPX range where they were basically a blade, as in they were harder to hit effectively of what people think harder to hit. They sit in that bracket between the 243 and the 241. They sit in between those. So they've got no business whatsoever of being in the JPX family. Never have, and they never will. So I've always wondered why. I was saying it's got no business being in a JPX whatsoever because it's not a JPX at all. So now they are changing things. They are moving things around. They're having a bit of rebranding. And finally bringing the S3 into where it belongs, into a Mizuno Pro range. Evan says, Jay, what's the longest you've ever kept a club in the bag and what club was it? My putter, my Scotty Cameron putter for, oh my word, how long did I have it in there for? Let's have a little look. What year was that? It was the one before, was it? It was one before that. I'm looking at now, I'm looking at that one, that's where it was, the years. We've got a timeline. I'm looking at a timeline now to try and ascertain at what point that, because my one is, oh, which one is it? I'll show you it more than anything. That's what my one is. Right, have we got a year? 2003. So it's 21 years old. 21 years old, and I had that in the bag for 16 or so years. There you go. It's a hickory shaft. No, it doesn't. Right. What is it now? So Andy said it's a CB. Thank you, Andy. David Rogers, hello David, hope you're well. Hello Jay, do you know when the 2025 Wilson irons will be released? Imminently. Hang on a second. I will check for you. I'll open up my email because I was told, and I want to make sure that I'm right for you. Now I'm just, have we got information on there? No, that is the samples I've already got. So come on, where's the next one? I'm looking for a, hopefully it will pop up. When did he send me that email? Was it that long ago? Here we go. So, Wilson embargo. Right, can I show you this? Hopefully you'll be able to see that. So, golf ball, the triad, 14th of Jan, Duosoft, 14th of Jan, Duosoft Track 360, don't know, I'll have a look at that one, 14th of Jan. The balls, Dynapower drivers, there we go. So we've got drivers, 29th of January, Dynapower woods, 29th of January, Dynapower irons, 29th of January, and infinite wedges 1st of April. There you go. I forgot myself then. So basically the back end of January. There you go. That is what is coming. All right. Have we got Evan? So the S3 is a double cavity blade. I'm not going to say, I can't say anything about the internals. I'm not allowed. But if you want to talk amongst yourself, absolutely. I'm not going to stop anything. I'm not going to delete anything. I'll let you chat between yourselves on that one. You can find photos online. Can you? Again, I am not going to confirm or deny anything, but Anthony says, I don't understand what double cavity means. Ask Evan. He's read, he saw stuff. I'm not going to say. Evan says lower cavity is deeper, upper cavity is shallower. It's also known as stepped cavity. It's pretty much the go-to design now. Again, not going to say confirm or deny or anything, but yeah. Evan Rogers, I got that backwards. Course Junkie 923 Tour is definitely not in the same category as hot metal stuff. Absolutely right. I've never understood ever why it was ever in there for 4 iterations. But Climb Builder says, what Wilson iron would you be comparable to the P790? Dynapower forged. Have I got it? Have I got it here? I have got it here. Can I get it out quite easily without yanking out 17 different things? Yep. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to give that a buff before. This is the thing, whenever you have a golf club with a little bit of chrome on it, it just seems absolutely wrong, like really wrong, to show it off or show it to anybody without you giving it a little bit of a clean first. Now, just, tell me that doesn't look nice. There you go. Hickory and chrome, Don says. Course Junkie P790, in my experience, play closer to Hot Metal Pro. The Wilson would be closer to a 923 forged. Yes, but the problem you've got is the fact that the P790 is firmly within the player's distance category. So actually is a JPX forged. That's the bridging iron with the 245, so they kind of sit together in the same category. Wilson, because they don't make, they've only got effectively 2 in that bracket, not many like say Mizuno have. And so you would look at the Hot Metal series being firmly in the Dynapower cast, and so the only other one in there is the Dynapower forged. But obviously Wilson haven't got the number of golf clubs and the range that some manufacturers have got in certain areas. Dynapower forged closest to the P790, but still too different to compare. I wouldn't say you are too far wrong on that one. Course Junkie said Dynapower is what I was referring to in my comment. Apparently I was thinking faster than I could type. Do that all the time. Yeah. My mouth moves faster than sometimes my brain can work out what's coming out of it. Evan says, yay or nay on golfing with the misses? Well, I hate missing target all the time. So if I'm playing golf and I'm missing target, I'm not playing. have you gotten your hands on the 925 Forge yet? Interesting to see how different it is to the 925 Hot Metal Pro. Ryan, that's a really interesting question. Now, obviously, got to be very careful because I'm not allowed to show these off. I'm not allowed to show these off. However, I will stand at a distance. Dodge a bullet. Yep. So, I've got to be careful. So I'm going to show these. So, what these are better at, yeah, is the fact they haven't got this chrome bar on here, which the Hot Metal series have, and I don't like them for that. It never just looked like an ugly duckling. The Forged just looks great. I really like the new Forged. It works really well. It feels really nice. I'm not going to give you the information at all. I'm not going to give you any closer up close than that. I'm not allowed to. They are great, even though you can see them online anyway. So I don't understand really why there is an embargo on the basis that, well, they're out in Asia and have been out in Asia for quite some time, but we are in Europe and we are governed by European embargo. So, a name drawn lol, and his dodgy bullet, Anthony, brilliant. I've got a rum sense of humour. Evan says he knew we were going to screen grab and send to the missus. No, you can screen grab if you want. I've got an amazing missus. My wife is so tolerant considering my life is just disjointed and busy and golf focused, and it's not golf focused on the basis of how much I play, it's golf focused on how much work I have got. And yeah, without her being the way that the way that she is, I couldn't do what I do. So yeah. And is there anybody wants to drop me $1 million on PayPal till I'll tell you the heat map data on the Forged? Yeah. I was going to say $1 million and I'll tell you, but I wouldn't. I still wouldn't. If you dropped $1 million, I wouldn't. I've got, my issue is the fact that my morals, I skirt the line. When it comes to a lot of things, I skirt the line of what I feel is acceptable given what I justify to myself. Because that's what any person's understanding of borders and boundaries is what they justify to themselves. Now, I still would, yeah, if I've promised effectively, if I've given my word to someone that I will not show it to the public, I will not show it to the public. And you could offer me $1 million and I still wouldn't show it to the public. Just would not sit right with me at all. D-Lock says, great content, thanks for all the great reviews and comparisons, even with mid swing speeds. Yes, currently, so I've got the Pro S3 and the JPX 925 Forge data sets done. I've got the 70, 80 and 90. When I say 90, I've almost 90 on the Pro S3. I ran out of juice, shall we say, on the knee, and so it's 89 point something, I think it is, but and you won't get any more. That's about it. I have got obviously the drivers and stuff to come for different things, and I'm worried about that one. So normally I give you on the drivers 90, 100, 110. It may well have to be 80, 90 and 100 because I'm not quite sure if my knee is going to be able to put up with 110 miles an hour swings. So I've got so much to do, I cannot risk hurting my knee. So we'll see, we will see. But thank you very, very much, D-Lock, for your very kind feedback. Of course, I would say that the most underrated part of Mizuno is the fairway woods. I've absolutely loved the ST3 wood. You want to try the ST Max 3 wood, and I tell you what, that's brilliant. Functionality-wise, that is into a green. It's hilarious. It's really very, very good. Not the longest 3 wood in the world. That's why I have that Cobra Dark Speed X 3 wood in there for the options, or when I do need playing a golf course, when I get to play, yeah. When I want or need something off a tee. If it's really quite tight and I can't risk driver and I want something that's going to hit target with a little bit more of a optimized flight for distance, then yeah, definitely the Dark Speed X will come out and off you go. What's your number to sell out your morals? What is my number? Pounds. It would have to be a number that I would take that would I would have to not only secure my like lifestyle going forward, it would have to secure the lifestyle of my children as well. And so 10 million, 5 million, 5 million, 5 million, would 5 million do? Split, yeah, 5 million, and I would say, I just say what people would want me to say. I'd say what the marketing wants me to say for 5 million, because, yeah. But that's basically there. That's enough zeros. If you give me 5 million, that would be enough to not only secure my lifestyle and the wife's lifestyle going forward. It would also secure potentially the children, depending if they wanted to waste it or not. But again, you can't do much about that. But yeah, that would be 5 million, and I'd probably do that. We've had these conversations before. I am my own worst enemy when it comes to YouTube growth. But yeah, is there a way I can work with you to do a driver fitting from the USA? I'd love to, but no. It's lessons are one thing. You would have to be in an arena where I can custom fit. You are in the arena themselves with all the different bits and pieces, with all the different, and I could say, yeah, pick this one, pick that one, put this shaft together, do this and do that. But I can't, yeah, no one's going to allow you to go somewhere with all the fitting tools and everything else like that and chuck the fitter out and then go get your WhatsApp or Instagram video feed and then get me. No, they're not going to have that. So I'll leave my guilt sitting on the beach. Yeah, I know, I live with my guilt sitting on the beach. I would like to see some Euro iron reviews. Yeah, I would do 2 possibly. I'll look at one point to getting them on there. Yeah. Course showing, we've talked about clubs a lot here. What's your 3 favourite competitors to the Pro V1? I was going to say the RB Tour, one I use. Because it basically is flight it very, very similar to that of a Pro V1 anyway when it comes to its spin and launch profile. But there are now, Mizuno are replacing it. And they're replacing it with the Mizuno Pro X or Mizuno Pro S or Mizuno Pro X or something like that. They're replacing it anyway very soon. So I am interested to see how this new ball performs. We'll see. And what else would I do? I'd have to possibly put something in, like a Wilson in, on the basis of you go down the Titleist route. Yeah, you can't have that Pro V1. Okay, so you go around the TaylorMade route and the TPX, and go around the Callaway route and the Chrome Soft, but they're all been done and like to the death and stuff. And I wouldn't actually necessarily be moving any needles. If I did that, I'd just be jumping on a bandwagon. So I think, as long as it performed exactly the same as I'd want it to, I'd want to go something like, yeah, the Staff or the Staff X that I've got down here that I've never actually hit. But there you go. But that's what I'd like to do, something like that. But yeah. And he says, I think if you ask Mizuno directly, they would tell you for a lot less than 5 million. They would tell you for a lot less. Well, they can tell me what they want. They tell me stuff now, but for no money whatsoever. Evan says, easy just to fly to Britain and harass Jay in person for a fitting? Yes, basically. But bear in mind, guys, I don't custom fit anymore. I do, but so I'm tethered as such to a fitting facility. But to be honest, I am so busy. I haven't played golf this year. I've been that busy with things. I haven't even had time to play golf. It has been that mental. So when it comes to fitting and when it comes to coaching, absolutely coaching, but fitting is the odd occasion here and there. But when I coach, it has to be done under on my own schedule, effectively, when I can make it work for me, because I'm too busy and I cannot allow a sideline as such, like coaching custom fitting, to interfere with what I'm doing. So it has to be done with that in mind. So I still coach and I still custom fit, but it's done under appointment only, and it's sort of here and there. It's not. I'm not doing crazy amounts of coaching every single week. and stuff, so no more do I have to worry about, I not worry about that, I just worry about listening to myself over and over and over again on the latest edit. But yeah, so course strength and then replacing the ball is why I asked. Yes, will be an interesting one to see. I mean, we'll see. Don says, would you like to see some, I would like to see some Titleist reviews. Don says, ha ha ha. Yeah, I don't know. New year, we'll go again, new year. And he says, I think my favourite ball of the time was a Bridgestone E6. Yes, that was a really good ball. I think, what was my favourite? Did Srixon, I think, did they make the URC? Was it the Srixon ZURC or something at one point? Back in the day? Srixon ZURC ball or something like the UR. I can't, yeah, something like that. I think it was the URC, yeah. But that was a ball I quite liked. Oh, pressing the wrong buttons. Thank you. Right, next TI was my best ball. Oh, yeah, that's a whole thing. That was a hard old thing. It was the resin RZN technology, wasn't it? Wow, like rocks they were. They worked, but they were like so loud and click, 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 click off the old wedge. I tend to have issues with my swing speeds, the X balls getting balloony on me. The RBX Tour and Pro V works well for me on spin control. Yeah, I mean, I've never, ever fitted myself or other people on driver swing. I've always fitted people from the putting green backwards. And then if you had an option between two golf balls at the point where you get to the driver, if you just choose whichever one works the best from those two, if they're equal, I would absolutely always fit from green, putting, chipping, pitching, iron play, driver, absolute last. But I can understand why they do it the other way, because obviously it sells better with the driver, but it's not the right way to do it. Right guys, I'm going to, it's now been quite some time with me messing around trying to get multiple streams going. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for everyone for watching. I will say one thing. I just want to let everyone know that I will be back. What's this, 23rd, so the 30th, it's the day before New Year's Eve. So I will still be here. If I rip my 8 on, I can get 9,500, so X balls are bad. Yeah, that's your swing speed, so I suppose, yeah, I'll have to opt for something, but then again, I suppose distance, you don't want to be going too low on spin, because with your swing speed, you'll be getting long balls out there. But yeah, so I'll be back in a week's time. We'll be doing another one. The chances are I'm going to be going forward, it will be members only. We'll look at finishing members only. Today was going to be members only. The problem is everyone's now, as you can see, migrating from YouTube memberships over to the website PayPal with all the information, all the same information that they had access to being YouTube members. Rather than being on Discord, it's now moving to the website, www.askgolfnut.com, where you can register there yourself anyway. Even if you're not a member, you can have the news and updates features that I try and keep updated where I can do, and then have the option, should you want to have access to all of the heat maps and all the different features on different tiers. You've got advanced data and radar charts in the silver tier, etc. You can have a look on there, see if you want to join or not. And so I think I may be going YouTube or open all access to everyone, because obviously as people come off the YouTube memberships to go on log on to the website and do it that way, then they don't have access to the members only live streams, even though they're still members. So it's not really fair on them. So as that process of migration continues and there are more and more people, it becomes more and more a case of disservicing people which have paid for a service which effectively they're not getting. So I think everything going forward will be a open all access. That is the idea. So thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it as always, guys. It's been a pleasure. And we will see each other in a week's time, one day before New Year's Eve. And then it will be 2025. So I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. Don't eat too much. Try not to drink too much. I have got Christmas Day and Boxing Day off, and then fingers crossed, well, I'll be back straight, yeah, to doing lots of hitting, as long as my knee, yeah. Pete, have you got your Username and password. Can't remember. Have you got it? Don't know. We're supposed to, what? Mention the release schedule. You were supposed to mention the release schedule. Well, yes, okay, very, very quickly, release schedule. Mizuno primarily is, I'll have to look at the other ones. I'm going to be late with other ones, but Mizuno going to be 6, there's going to be JPX 925 forged, silver and black. Black's coming as well. With the next day after the 7th, which is the Pro S3. The next day after that is the ball, I think. Next day after that is, the next day after that is the T1, T3 wedges. Next day after that is the ball, and next day after that, which is a Friday, is the putters. But again, I'll be a bit late with the putters anyway because I want to do something different with those. Best players distance iron of the year, Cobra Limit 3D. So, not from cost, definitely not from cost, but best performing one, absolutely Cobra Limited 3D. But you didn't specify there was a thing on cost, so yeah, cool. Anyone who hasn't, so anyone who's got their username login, just log in anyway, and so the system, I don't think necessarily, yeah, it should be called the Cobra Limited 3000D. Love it. So anyone who wants access to you can just go on the website, you can just go on there and log in and register anyway. And of course, anyone who's a member who hasn't got their login, log in. And also make sure that if you have got your membership, just log in, just sort of get in there and get your My Account. You can obviously reset your password to you wish, and then everything is good going forward. Pretty certain that it's not set up though that something will get deleted or whatever it will be if it's inactive for a certain amount of time. Not quite sure, but make sure you just go on there anyway. Just update your My Account, log in, have a little look, and then log out. Just make sure everything's okay. And you just put the www. all that lot down there. Click on there, and then see when you click on, you get that. You get side. What sort of? Anyway, that's all there for you guys to have a little look anyway. I know I will see everybody later on. I hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. I will catch everyone next week. Open access again, obviously, for next week. And going forward for reasons just discussed. And hope everyone has a lovely Christmas. And we'll see everyone day before New Year's Eve.